Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the SAP and Deloitte webinar, Finance in the New World of Work. I'm Sandy Yu from SAP Hong Kong Marketing. I'm very happy to be the facilitator of today. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the business and markets globally. Organizations and the workforce have to work remotely. However, operating in the remote working conditions may not be as difficult as you think for the CFOs and controllers. SAP and Deloitte are partnering to deliver a webinar for the finance professionals to replace inefficiencies, facilitate compliance, and make the finance functions more intelligent in the new world. Now, I would like to have the introductions of today's speakers. Harvey Territory Directors, Hong Kong SAP Concur. Victor Hui, Pre-Sales Solutions Manager, SAP Concur. Maggie Mort, Senior Solutions Manager, SAP Hong Kong. And Anson Mack, Associate Directors, Assurance, Finance Controls, and Capital Events, Deloitte. Today's format is going to be presentation styled with PowerPoint sharing, followed by the opportunities for you to ask the questions during the Q&A sections. It will take around 1 hour. Now let me briefly explain today's webinar's platform and how you can use them to interact with us during the webinars before we start. So on your screen, you will be able to see a few pop-up windows. Let's start from the left-hand side of your screen. At the top left-hand side of your screen, there will be a Q&A window. You can type in the questions in the dialog box and submit anytime during the webinar. Below the Q&A box, it is a survey form that we would like to gather the feedback from every one of you. At the center of the screen, you will see the presentation slides. On the right-hand side of your screen, you may see the speaker information and the media player, where all the videos, demonstrations, and presentations will be shown. At the bottom of the screen, you can see a row of the buttons, including the emails, inquiries, and the additional information. So once again, today, talks in the new world of work. Now, I would like to hand over to Hermit, and she will start sharing with you.
Thanks, Sandy. I'm Hermie Chu, Territory Director of SAP Concur. We're working on the uncertainty. One of the toughest and most often asked questions of finance and business leaders is, how can we sustain business performance and workforce productivity at this time? In this coming hour, we will try to share with you our finance and business leaders can possibly address this challenge with the latest virtual intelligent finance practice and technology. Firstly, I will share with you the findings and recommendations of a recent study conducted by Asia Insight named Finance Expectation of Employees in Finance and Administrative Processes to better support new ways of digital work and life. After that, Victor Hui from S will share with us how to deploy a contemporary spend management solution in the new world of work. Then we will have Maggie Mock, Senior Solution Manager from SAP, to talk about the path to intelligent finance. Afterwards, Anson Mack, Associate Director of Deloitte, will share with us the topic, the blueprint for finance to truly virtual, that others will join back for. In this study, conducted by Asia Insight, 2000 APAC response finance users are being surveyed. We find that 56% of the employees in Hong Kong surveyed have a strong connection between their overall work satisfaction and the experience of finance and admin process. This suggests that having effective process and system to support the overall workflow is very important. To boost employee satisfaction and retention, organizations must ensure they are helping staff Moreover, we find that 94% in Hong Kong work to be robustly organized redundant, expect employers to repay for their working. What is the most they expect from the company's strategy? And it's not surprising that better IT equipment and service is the major one, which accounts for 61% of total response. This is followed by improved collaboration between teams and customer partners at 24%, and the ability to perform expense claims and travel management online at 80%. According to the survey, employees and managers spend a substantial amount of over the last few years. Many firms in Hong Kong still handle expense claims manually. 45% respondents in Hong Kong set expense manually by filling up a form and enclosing physical receipts, such as a manual process is very tedious, error-prone, and ill suited to a remote work environment. Study. Managers spend employees spend an average 2.6 hours filling expense claims. That is almost half a work day. Managers they spend 5.5 hours reviewing and approving expense claims, saving just 10% of time spent. $1 million of potential GDP revenue for Hong Kong annually. There's room for improvement for finance in this region. Employees expect their expense management system to be improved. Also, for they want to be able to speeding up their expense process. And have them to consolidate automatically into an expense, submitting expense anytime, anywhere via laptops and PCs. If we look at the right column, 42% of managers wish to be able to spend less time on reviewing and approving expense claims. 28% of them want to review and approve expense on a mobile app, and they also want to detect expense and receipt data for fraud, mistakes, and policy violation before reimbursement. In summary, here are our recommendations for finance, IT, and HR leaders to empower the employees under this new form of remote working. Firstly, automate expense and business travel management by adopting a solution with intelligent and mobile capabilities. This can save employees and managers time spent on repetitive and tedious manual work, so they can focus more on productive tasks. At the same time, finance and management can detect unnecessary spend, policy violation, and potential fraudulent claims easily for better spend governance. Secondly, optimally support remote work. Other than automating expense claim process, the company can extend the automation for enable vendors digitally invoice organizations directly with employees and support remote invoice approval and error checking. Companies should also review the expense policy and they should reimburse staff for their internet access, IT reverse, and IT defect. Now, I'd like to probably share on how to support your work. Thanks, Victor.
Thank you very much, Hammy. Hello, I'm Victor Hui, Pre-Sales Solutions Manager in SAP Concur. I would like to share with you on how to deploy a contemporary spend management solution to accommodate the new world of work that we have never experienced before. Before I drill down on today's topic, let's start with a very quick polling from you. Currently, there are lots of companies implementing work from home policy. Therefore, no matter you are employees and employers, you would like to have some expectations from about the expense and invoice process within your organization. This expectation will include increased productivity so that the employees can have a more productivity while keeping business continuity. Automation, meaning that all the processes should be performed in the system without manual procedure. Mobility, which is about employee can do the work anywhere at any time. high visibility, all the managers, including finance and executives, can see the ways to optimize cash flow. Cost control. The company has to optimize the cost spending whenever possible. Compliance, which is referring to how the employees can work from home while keeping all the work compliance to the company policy. So I would like to invite all of you right now to look at the question and see if you can pick up 3 things that you would like to have in the new world of work in your organization about the expense and invoice process. No matter you are thinking of on behalf of yourself or a company, just pick up 3 top priorities of your needs. I would like to give you 20 seconds right now to choose 3. Ten seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So thank you very much. So let's take a look on the polling results then. Okay. I think most of you will choose the different results, including the increased productivity, mobility, higher visibility, etc. So let's take a look on the details about this today's topic. So now SAP Concur offers a seamless, scalable, end-to-end spend management platform that gives customers greater visibility, control, and employee productivity. The core product suite expense, travel, and invoice, together with network, which is integrated among all global and local partners in ecosystems. With SAP Concur, you will find the end-to-end total spend management that offers in-depth functionalities based on our best practice and experience in different countries and helps manage your spending inside and outside of your organizations. The employees across all departments, including finance department, will benefit with the values arising from the connected ecosystem of the partners, apps, and suppliers, and ERP integrations. If you have some workload that you want to outsource to SAP Concur to do, it is also possible. For example, you can outsource audit services for your internal employees' expenses to our Concur audit service team to do eyeball checking and ensure the expenses are in compliance with the corporate rules of the company. In order to deploy a contemporary spend management platform with good end-user experience, there are 4 main elements you need to consider. First, you need to push productivity, includes the initiative of automation. This is a very fundamental step and mindset that you need to foster in your mind from a company perspective. Second, proactive management of cash flows in order to have a better pre-spend and budget control. Third, you need to minimize any out-of-the-policy spending by enforcing an effective compliance rules and policy within your organization. Fourth, you also need to increase the visibility and spend governance in order to achieve cost optimization. The first element is automation. In the T&D process within a company, you will be able to effortlessly manage the end-to-end expense claim process. Let me walk through with an example here. Being an employee, you can file an expense claim not only through the web interface, but also via the Concur native mobile app at any time and anywhere. Suppose that I'm the employee who need to take a business trip or need to get my client entertainment expenses for pre-approval. After I have submitted my expense, my manager can use this or her mobile to approve it. In the meantime, the manager can check if my request exceeds the assigned budget. The manager can also see the budget trending and consumption details on mobile. If it is okay, the manager will approve on the mobile. After receiving the approval message from my manager, I can use Concur Travel, which is a consumer-grade online booking tool, to book my flights and hotels. With Concur Travel, I can easily search those preferred airlines and hotels that are compliant to the company policy at any time and anywhere. During the trip, I paid a meal with my corporate card. Such transaction will be posted to the Concur platform automatically. After I took Uber, since my Uber profile was connected with my Concur profile, the e-receipt from the Uber will also be automatically placed into my Concur account. A lot of the manual input and avoid human input error. For those who pay by cash, I can take a picture of the receipt using the Concur mobile app with OCR technology. Relevant items information will be captured, and the transaction will be automatically classified for me based on the machine learning technology. It reduces the input effort. This is also useful when the receipt is lost by accident. Concur platform will also allow the customer to put the audit rules and policies in the system. Bill limit, for example, if it is over, the platform will prompt the user and manager with an alert. From the company point of view, it is to ensure compliance throughout the organization, and the employee claim behavior can also be fine-tuned. After I have submitted the expense report, my manager can be notified and approve my expense report using the mobile app. My manager can see the necessary details such as policy exception, receipt images at a fingertip. Mobile-enabled process shortens the entire processing time. For the invoice process, again, let me walk through a day-to-day example in your organization. Imagine that you want to purchase printer for your office. You can create a purchase request in Concur and submit for approval. When your manager approves your purchase, he or she can see the budget impact and approve on mobile or web at any time and anywhere. Once PO can be automatically generated and ready to be sent to the vendor. When you receive the printer, you can also mark the receipt in the system if necessary. Afterwards, you get the invoice from the vendor through email. You can simply upload this electronic invoice to the platform or scan the copy of the invoice into the platform. Concur automatically extracts the invoice details through the OCR technology. The key information, including vendor name, invoice date, invoice number, and amount, as well as the key line item information, including the product description, quantity, and amount, will be captured. In this case, a lot of the data entry time has been saved. Once the invoice details are populated in the system, embedded policy checks helps me to identify any exceptions that I need to be aware of, such as mismatch of the PO and invoices. After checking is done and invoices are matched, I can submit the invoice online. System can route the invoice to the corresponding approvers automatically according to your rules. Approvers can approve on mobile or web anytime to shorten the approval process. Subsequently, the invoice can go to the finance for final check and be posted to the accounting system. With such digitalization process in place from end to end, the finance department will save more time for better cash flow management. Suppose that I'm uploading an invoice to the Concur platform, which leverages the OCR technology to reduce the manual entry. This is the invoice header information, such as the invoice number, invoice date, vendor name that is captured by the platform. Another information to be captured is the invoice date, invoice amount, PO number, other charges such as tax shipping charges. Another part to be captured is the invoice line items, including the item description, part number, unit price, quantity. The user also can use the mouse to drag to the field in the invoice form for recognition in the verification step. Concur platform can also be based in a predefined logic to route to the appropriate requester or owner, all the above process can be done when you are working from home. It is very easy and efficient and save a lot of the manual effort. The other important element of a spend management solution is pre-spend budget control. An employee can raise a purchase request specifying what kind of product or services to buy, or a pre-approval process for travel or some entertainment expense. Before the manager approves the request, they care about not only the rationale behind this request, but also the amount and the impacts to the budget as well. The manager can see the near real-time visibility on the budget, how this request amount can impact the budget, where the budget spent before, and the trend of the spending, etc. In order to allow the manager to better make a better decision right at the fingertips, he or she can see the budget performance and related information in Concur mobile app, same as the web interface as well. Therefore, near real-time pre-spend control can be achieved. In the budget dashboard, on top of the overall budget status, you can see more details like who is spending or who has spent and how much is the amount and what is the spend purpose, when it happened, how did it affect my budget in terms of the percentage. So this information is very important to the budget owners as they can look into where to allocate the resources and ensure spending is in line with the budget. It helps them to make a wiser or more informed spend decision. The other element of a spend management solution is effective compliance enforcement. Over here, audit rules can be set up to check the payment request against the company policies to ensure proper control upon the submission. For example, the audit rules can be based on the invoice number, vendor name, expense type, and invoice amount to identify duplicate invoices. You can also trigger additional workflow if the requested amount is above the certain amount. This will safeguard the possibility to overpay the suppliers and make sure outgoing cash are really in line with the business initiative and requirements. In T&E aspect, on the right-hand side of your screen, you see that a lot of the organizations have different T&E policy for different cost centers, staff profiles, or expense categories. For example, regional and local office employees may have a hotel spend limit. Expense may be granted access to certain benefits such as the club membership claims. It can be a challenge for employees, managers, and finance to understand all these rules. With Concur, you can set the audit rules with granular parameters in the system. System can then automatically check the entitlement and alert the employee accordingly. Therefore, the employees would immediately know the expense policy in a personalized way. This is more efficient to educate employees on the current policy and encourage them to become more responsible for the spending. For better spend control, many companies would set up the approvals routing according to different situations. For example, claims would go to the different approvers according to spend amount, spend categories, spend purpose, and cost owner, etc. With SAP Concur, such logic can be embedded in the approval workflow, and the system can route to the corresponding personnel for approval. Audit trail is enabled in order to ensure accountability of each role. For gift and hospitality spend, companies in some industry, such as finance services and insurance, would require capturing the attendee information as one of the anti-bribery measures. To efficiently capture attendee names, Concur supports adding and searching from the list. Per head bill limit can also be set according to different attendee types with automated alert and special approval routing. Such alerts can serve to educate the employees for more responsible and compliant spend behavior. Also, there are some companies that worry about hidden non-compliant expenses. One of the common sources would be the hotel spend, which may hide away some out-of-policy items such as laundry, TV programs, or minibars if there is no breakdown in the expense report. If the employees are asked to break down the spend, it can be very time-consuming and error-prone tasks. With Concur, employee can simply email forward the hotel folio to the Concur email addresses so that all the items will be automatically itemized for you to reduce the data entry effort. Besides flagging out the exceptions during the expense claim process, many organizations would like to have a regular review of the spend policy execution to evaluate execution effectiveness and room for improvement. Organizations can look into the pre-built compliance analysis. They can see the compliance trending and drill down to see if certain exceptions are attributed to certain employees in particular situations. The fourth element of the spend management solution is visibility and spend governance. A lot of the companies would have the different expenses shared by other departments or projects. For example, rental costs, marketing event costs, or IT project costs, which will be allocated to different projects, cost centers, or product lines. In Concur platform, users can easily use a drop-down list or templates for cost allocation. It can even automatically route to the corresponding cost owner for approval so that you'll be able to see the granular analysis of each department or project who has spent the money. In order to increase your visibility and corporate spend efficiency, you can build key metrics for your company's combined spend associated with your company's expense report and invoices. For example, you will be able to see the trend for the combined T&E and invoice spending. What is the amount of the accruals? What is the impact of your cash flow and budgets? All these spend decisions are very critical to the business survival and profitability of an organization right now. In most of the time, you will want to know more granular analysis of your vendor spend. For example, how much you spend on certain vendors, what are the top spenders in your organization, what are the spend trends for different expense types. With such kind of information, you can have a better understanding on the vendor spending status in your organization. You can negotiate better terms with your vendors you have spent most with. When you want to have a better picture on the cash flow and the liabilities in your organization, how do you do it right now with our system? You may ask the question like, how easy is it for the accounting department to see accurately all invoices that have been received but not yet been paid? For a paper-based process, the accounting department can see those invoices only after the manager approval is completed. That will be too late. In Concur platform, the accounting department can have instant visibility of all outstanding payables to the suppliers, no matter what stage of the process the invoice sits. Some customers told us that it is very difficult to get visibility into all committed spend prior to the invoice arriving and being key into the finance system. This is particularly important for the multi-period project costs. Concur Invoice Platform can provide a report that shows all the invoice received against each purchase order. This provides a summary total of the invoice received and, most importantly, an outstanding balance for the overall purchase order. By capturing the granular data, organizations can analyze spend in many different dimensions. They can understand what are the main cost drivers to assist the better cost optimization decision. For example, the line manager would like to see which spend most in a certain period of time so as to minimize the unnecessary expenses. And the procurement would probably like to see which supplier they have spent more with so that they can reduce their vendor costs by negotiating the better rates and terms with the vendors. If your organization have already been using the corporate card for the expenses, such as the Amex, Visa, or MasterCard, they are out of the out-of-box integration with the Concur already. This is a report showing which credit card transactions are still outstanding for expenses claim. This helps you to know ahead how much the employees have spent, and you have reserved enough cash to pay for this transaction. As a finance expense auditing, you may find cases where the employees have claimed the expense without any receipt. Have you ever got a ready report to find out how many of the reports did not have the receipt? In the worst case is that even the manager has not viewed the receipt in the whole report level or even all expense items. Concur platform provides these two reports, namely missing the receipt audit and reports approved but receipts not reviewed, which can help the finance auditor to achieve this purpose. With this report, any suspected fraud can be spotted out. I hope after my sharing today, you will get better understanding if you want to deploy a spend management solution. what are the four main elements that will be required in current new world of work? To summarize, they are automation, pre-spend budget control, effective compliance enforcement, as well as the visibility and spend governance. Hope you can remember these four elements when you select a spend management solution in your company. So this is the end of my presentation. So thank you very much for everyone on the line. Hope you enjoyed my session. If you have any question, please feel free to raise it up in the Q&A panel. So let me pass the time to Maggie, who will talk about the path to intelligent finance. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Hello, everyone. I'm Maggie Mock, Pre-Sales of SAP Hong Kong, specialized in finance and risk solutions. In this session, I would like to share the path to intelligent finance with SAP solutions and emerging technologies. As you can observe, the world is changing. The old way of doing business has also changed. Especially in the crisis, organizations are facing more and more new challenges. It leads to the emergency of new business model, no matter you are in consumer products, professional service, manufacturing, or any other industry. You can see that customers expect more dynamic and highly personalized experience. The focus has shifted from product selling to service and outcomes. Connection to customer has changed from face-to-face to digital, and everything is getting connected. Ecosystems of partners are collaborating to deliver more values based on customer needs. You can also see new trends such as mobile, IoT, city infrastructure, and smart home. All changes are impacting the new business model as well as the world of finance. Finance is at the center of enterprise transformation. So every digital business model transformation lies standing on three legs: sales, finance, and supply chain transformation. Only fixing individual elements will not generate a truly amazing customer experience. In addition, finance is a mirror image of the real world. So sales and supply chain transformation can only progress as far as finance is able to follow and to support. Therefore, finance transformation provides critical value for enterprise transformation. For example, finance transformation can provide seamless billing and payment experience to handle transparent and consolidated billing, timely payment and payment confirmation, bonus rebates, concessions, returns, etc. And finance transformation can also ensure finance reliability of business model transformation to avoid revenue leakage, analyze customer lifetime profitability, and minimize end-to-end supply chain costs to improve product profitability. Also, through finance transformation, you can ensure digital trust and compliance of new business models to prevent cyber fraud and ensure cybersecurity and data privacy. So, how SAP enables the Office of the CFO to transform to intelligent finance? From the global survey report of CFO and senior executives, the key business drivers for CFO is extending, and finance value is also extending across the enterprise. In order to allow finance organization and their supporting system to be able to drive corporate strategy, business insight, risk and compliance, and reduce overall costs, they need to be able to deliver agility, analytics, assurance, and automation like never before. So looking at the evolution of finance transformation, finance is always focusing on running the business, executing overall tasks. But nowadays, this is not what is expected from the business anymore. Business
expects finance to deliver the necessary insights for better decision making. So in order to free up the time and improve the course of finance, organizational and process redesign has already happened. Of course, operational tasks cannot be just removed, they need to be executed. But the purpose is to automate through new technologies, such as robotic process automation and machine learning, to improve compliance, to become more agile and provide better customer and employee experience. Please note that it's not about reducing the headcount of finance. It's about getting rid of the repetitive jobs and shaping finance into a more new, innovative, and valuable roles. For example, to support the big data analysis, to become business strategy experts, and to be more helpful of the partner of other line of business. So let me use this picture to describe the building blocks in SAP S/4HANA for intelligent finance. It takes finance into the digital age so you can grow and innovate. You can have a complete view of your business whenever you need to make a decision. You can see that in the underlying platform, it runs in memory, improves the performance of your operation and analytics, allowing you to move from a batch-oriented to a continuous real-time finance model. And to take the full advantage of in-memory computing, SAP S/4HANA has been re-architected with a simpler data model. It eliminates unnecessary data redundancy. So all your finance applications in SAP S/4HANA access the same repository, we call it the single source of truth, which uniquely combines transactional and analytical data in one system. So you can accelerate your decisions based on data-driven insights at the point of action. The value for finance organization is substantial. It includes data consistency across your finance application. Universal Journal eliminates reconciliation. It provides unlimited drill-down analysis on the fly. Reduction of error handling in the closing cycle, and simplify multi-dimensional reporting, etc. SAP also delivers breakthrough technologies making finance applications more intelligent, increasing efficiency while reducing the finance cost. We have already seen many customers leverage accurate digital data and machine learning to improve the level of automation. First, next generation ERP builds the foundation for our customer. SAP S/4HANA Finance provides the digital core to power advanced automation. Single source of financial truth reduces reconciliation and enables higher degree of end-to-end automated processing. Second, machine learning can identify hidden patterns in knowledge-intensive processes and then execute further. Third, chatbots or modern digital assistants can boost productivity of your financial experts. Fourth, robotics process automation helps repetitive, rule-based monotone tasks. Last but not least, experience management helps building customer trust and loyalty. And all these technologies are now commonly used in intelligent finance to drive efficiency. So let's see, SAP S/4HANA provides a digital age user experience, SAP Fiori. It reflects the reality of work and allows you to work smarter,
For example, color coding tile and notification can alert user to any overdues or new posting or request for immediate actions. Dynamic charts and KPI figures provide you a high-level real-time overview of your receivable, payable, and cash flow. In addition, finance users can search across and within Fiori apps to get immediate answers and take actions if needed. This cross-device user experience supports current working model of finance. No matter you are in office, work from home, or perform approval on the road using a mobile. Furthermore, utilizing machine learning, the system is learned historical data and previous activities make it continuously more intelligent and helpful. So let's see an example of next generation ERP, a fully connected source-to-pay solution. The process is end-to-end. Basically, it enables entire source-to-pay integration and aligns different roles in the procurement and finance departments. It also provides you one-stop shop for direct, indirect material, labor, and services, travel, and expense. And the native integration between finance and procurement lower IT costs, eliminate manual data entry, and increase transparency for all parties. And this next generation ERP should be comprehensive, not one size fits all. It can offer comprehensive capability and cover 100% of your spend and supply base. Network collaboration is another key highlight in future work. Next generation ERP connects to a global community of trading partners and suppliers and customers to discover, connect, collaborate, and gain insights easily so that you can engage across a wide range of interactions. This is one example, leverage new technologies, the financial close automation. Advanced financial closing is all about orchestrating key steps along record to report of the entity close. As you know, reconciliation of your invoice and goods received is one of the repetitive and time-consuming tasks in month-end closing. With new technologies, the work of finance is changed. First, account clearing transaction is triggered by pre-scheduled process flow, or you can start it manually as before if you like. Next, mismatch is automatically recognized by rules defined in the system. In step 3, the task is performed by GRIR monitor application. It's a machine learning innovation that identifies root cause and propose solution. Accountant is provided with intelligent recommendation to make decisions. And machine learning learns from accountant's decision to create rules for future use. As a result, it simplifies and accelerates the reconciliation process with fewer human interactions and reduce the effort for non-value-added activity. Next, request supplier to send corrected invoice, and then upload the corrected invoice into the system. And this task can be done by robotic process automation. Step 6 is GRIR monitor application to complete the clearing of open items. Then advanced financial closing copy triggers the next step. Subsequent process is started in entity close task list. As you can see in last example, GRIR monitor enables intelligent processing of the reconciliation of your invoice and goods received to improve and increase the accuracy of your financial statement, to accelerate your financial close while ensuring compliance with your corporate rules, and enable real-time insights into open goods and invoice receipts for accounting and procurement organization. In addition, robotic process automation is used to upload the supplier invoice automatically. In fact, the application of RPA is very customer specific. For example, if there is a specific error in a closing task, which happens very often, the bot can send an email triggering a resolution by a particular user group. Automatic upload of payment advance, upload of GL general from Excel, and the execution of master data check are other examples of using RPA. Another example is order-to-cash automation. This automation allows us to process cash faster, improve DOS, DSO, and increase the efficiency of shared service of finance. After customer make payment into our bank statement is imported via SAP multi-bank connectivity into our system. And then SAP Cash application delivers intelligence invoice matching using machine learning to analyze customers' historical data, learn which matching criteria are important and how to prioritize, as well as how to best apply them. The result is the ability to intelligently match the payments to open receivables and automatically clear those items to minimize manual effort. Step 3, using the knowledge learned from accountants, SAP Cash application can detect short payment, and then mail is sent to the customer for additional information. Chatbot is used to request clarification reasons for short payments. Then after collecting the additional information, machine learning can reprocess the remaining unmatched receipt and solve dispute case. And lastly, customer satisfaction is measured for dispute case. So from this case, you can see that accounts receivable shared service team can use chatbot to collaborate with customer. For example, inbound chatbot can help to collect information from customer, look for solution to address customer inquiry, and route the questions to related customer user group and follow up. Nowadays, customer experience management becomes more important to business. By navigating chatbot and survey, finance can measure customer satisfaction of dispute case resolution and share the results with sales team. Another example is the next generation GRC and security. You can deploy machine learning to monitor threats, use predictive to detect fault and errors, and leverage RPA to improve business process efficiency. In above example, you can see that finance could use intelligent technologies into the direction of automation of finance tasks and focus more on the delivery of right insights. With this transformation, finance ensures that new business models are enabled by new processes, financially viable and trustworthy. So, to make the intelligent finance real, the first thing is to understand how mature your organization is with respect to the ability to fully enable a digital finance function. This qualitative survey helps you to assess the readiness based on the best practice of adoption, comparing with a relative peer set. And if you have, and if you are interested in this survey, please go to this link to understand more. With that, this concludes my presentation today. If you have any questions, please drop in our Q&A box, and we can discuss during the Q&A session. Now, let me pass time to Anson for his sharing. Thank you.
Hi, Maggie. Thanks a lot. So this is Anson Mac from Deloitte, Hong Kong, and I specialize helping clients to optimize, automate, and transform their finance operations with technology, process improvement, and whatnot. So today I'm going to briefly talk about what we, Deloitte, believe the future of finance is going to look like, and share some of our viewpoint on how to make it happen. So let's begin. I think we are not going to talk too much about this, but the fact is, every time we do this kind of webinar, you can imagine we will have done a lot of surveys and share a lot of data points, similar to what Hermie and Maggie have shared. I think that the truth ultimately is the fact that I think finance ultimately is still very much manual, despite using ERP systems and whatnot, or may have adopted some robotics here and there. But the truth is, it's still very much manual. A lot of finance department is still struggling with the new work from home, environment, given a lot of paper-based processes and whatnot, and the fact that management executives are in general not particularly satisfied or happy with their financial information, feeling that the financial information are not automated enough, not fast enough, not accurate enough, or the fact that finance team at this moment lack the analytical capability to truly support decision making. So how do we actually make that happen, or what are the major reasons that are causing these problems? The fact is, despite a lot of companies have been moving to ERPs or adopt robotics here and there, robotics is pretty much the new Apple iPhone these days. Everyone talks about it, but the fact is, it's pretty much old, new wines in old bottles. Things have not been changed too much, and the reason why is because, first of all, a lot of the operations, like the ERP systems, the different legacy systems are still pretty much on premise. A lot of the finance staff, accountants, and clerks are still using desktop, and a lot of the process is still pretty much manual and paper-based. So even though they have moved some part of the operations to digital or cloud-based apps, right, but mostly on the front line or on some part of the systems, and maybe only management have laptops, and a lot of companies only applying, sporadically on different solutions, and ultimately the process are not truly automated. They still pretty much, a mix between digital and analog. So the transformation is not complete. So what happens is then at the end, you create a lot of problems where, even though some things can be done on the cloud, something can be done remotely, but a lot of people and a lot of the existing processes are still, being manual and they're being done offline. So for example, accounting staff, a lot of them still need to access to a desktop. In fact, one of the, fun facts that we heard from our client recently is that you said they spend a lot of money during the outbreak time to actually order a lot of laptops. So that they can send it to the employees so that they can remotely work. So that's something I would find it very interesting. And of course, there's a lot of data manipulations and gatherings before they can actually do the analysis. In fact, one of the common pitfall that we heard a lot is that during this COVID situation, finance staff is particularly find it difficult to do analysis because the downloading of the data is also a problem, especially when you work from home. So all these hybrid process, causing a lot of the finance team cannot really work from home effectively, and their process still remain relatively manual. So what can you do to change it? The way how we think in Deloitte is that we think that you need to achieve 5 things in order to truly go virtual on your finance operations, so that your finance will be automated, can be more analytic driven to provide more decision support to the business. At the same time, enable your finance team to work from anywhere, even during the crisis. So the first thing is to go paperless. So I know we all have been talking about it, but how many companies can truly go paperless, especially in the Asia Pacific region? Not many. So I think one thing that we need to do is to try to eliminate as many paper-based processes as possible by adopting electronic invoices, digital payments, and whatnot. The second one is that it's about going mobile. So instead of still giving yourself a desktop, you might consider giving them a laptop, and maybe enable them to use mobile devices employing apps, deploying apps like Concur, for example, which can support mobile workflow and approval process, so that finance processes can still be run even regardless the location of the person. Now, the third one is about growing automation. We heard a lot about robotics, AIs, and all that stuff. I think audience pretty much have heard of it and maybe get bored about it. But it's a very effective solution, and I really recommend companies doing it. And automation can truly help companies to automate a lot of rule-based, repetitive, high-volume tasks. The fourth pillar is really about going cloud. I think on this part, it's not as popular right now comparing to Europe or in the US. But the fact is, going cloud is also a very cost-effective solution because not only it enables everyone, as long as they have a web browser in their laptop or tablet, they can actually work. But the truth is that it's very highly scalable, and it costs, and you save a lot of costs, maintaining the software version or maintaining the database and whatnot. So going cloud is another good solutions to have. And then finally, it's just go analytics. So deploy analytics, machine learning techniques, predictive analytics techniques to enable your company to monitor your processes, analyze your performances, or forecasting more accurately, using analytics technology. Now, all these things you might have heard multiple times from, many consultants and many webinars, but how do you actually apply these in finance operation? And so in our case, we have been partnering with multiple, leading technology vendors and solutions, and we design what we think the financial operation is going to look like in the future. The first one is 360-degree spending management. The truth is about integrating and managing, all your payable and expense in one single source of truth, in one single platform, and leverage, different OCR technology, NLP technology, and robotics technology to help you to automate the process as much as possible. And Concur is one of the good solutions for this in particular. The second one is automated accounting. So leveraging robotics, NLP, OCR technology, chatbots, and whatnot, you can automate substantially a lot of the traditional, accounting tasks. And we have helped over 200 clients in China automating these processes, from grade matching, issuing dunning letters, extracting and pivoting data to generate analysis for clients. We have done a lot of these kind of tasks, and it's truly doable. And even preparing VAT tax report. And then the third one is closing in the cloud. So actually, there's a cloud-based solution out there that can enable you to centrally manage and automate substantial part of your financial close. And we're not just talking about processing entries, posting adjustment and all that, but it enables you to automate reconciliation, transaction matching, and have real-time visibility in every single task of the flows. And this can truly enable you to complete your close from anywhere you want. And then the fourth one is about connected reporting. So what we mean by that is that to leverage cloud-based reporting and analytics, technology, where you can integrate the different data sources from ERP system, POS system, subledgers, and other systems, or even unstructured data like Excel. You can build a data model, integrate all this data in one single integrated database, and then going forward, when you prepare standard report, you just click one button and refresh, and all the data will automatically refresh and update it. So you don't have to do it manually anymore, and reduce all the copy and paste between Word and PowerPoints and all that stuff. And the fifth one is real-time processing, process monitoring. So leveraging process mining and analytics technology, you can actually monitor your finance processes in real time. So you can immediately get flagged on non-compliances, control deficiencies, and whatnot, and you can quickly identify whether there are any efficiency that you can improve using digital technology. And then the final one is intelligent forecasting, where we help clients using big data analytics, predictive analytics to improve the accuracy of their forecasting, prepare dynamic scenario analysis, and whatnot. So these are the 6 major themes, how we Deloitte envision what the future of finance is going to look like. I know today we don't have enough time to really go into detail of each one, but we can definitely happy to talk to you more about these 6 areas if you're interested. Now, at the end, so why would we recommend clients to go virtual on their finance operation? And the first thing first is about the fact that it can help you to reduce a lot of manual effort and time on transactional activities. Okay. And then the second one is really to enable you to spend more time on decision support with real-time access and enhanced analytic capability so that you can do more analysis, you can do better decision support. And of course, with all these things, it also means that you can save costs and time from your finance operation, and this is particularly important in current economic recessions. And then ultimately, this also enables your finance team to perform their operations from anywhere and any time with continuity, so you don't have to worry about working from home or any other crisis. Now, we don't have too much time to go through some case study. Here are just some brief case studies that we have done before. I just want to say that these solutions are not real and have been successfully been implemented. There are companies that using like 360 spending management solution, which can help them to reduce 80% time spent on their expenses, help them to identify 1.1 million worth of duplicated invoices. For companies that automate and closing in the cloud, it enables them to eliminate over 50% of their manual processes, to save up to 80% time for their reconciliation process. For example, for connected reporting, you can reduce up to 80% of their time spent on like standard reporting, including like financial statement, earning release, and all that stuff. And then e-commerce. And another case is that we have an e-commerce business to do like real-time process monitoring, and we help them to identify like up to like 25% of their sales order that have issues or inefficiencies, and we help them to reduce up to like 30% of their FTE. Throughout the process. So these are all, real life cases. We don't have too much time to drill into today, but the truth is, it's truly beneficial. And how can we make this, a reality? In general, we suggest that you go through like, a four-phase approach. First of all, you consider, identify use cases, understand what your current finance operation look like, assess what are the possible use cases of this digital solution, and reimagine the finance future states. And then the second one is then based on this, you redesign the policy and your future workflow on how to actually work with this new technology. So avoiding putting new wines in old bottles, right? You truly want to redesign and revamp your workflow so that you can truly work with the new technologies. And then, of course, then you can configure and integrate the technologies and also drive change management to enable your users to be better at using these technology and more willing to change their existing behavior, which is one of the common difficulties that we have seen in a lot of the finance team today when they try to transform their finance. So that's pretty much it from my sections. So if you have any questions, by all means, do not hesitate to contact us, give us a call, and we are happy to talk you through and share with you the different success story and cases that we have done before. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Anson. Now, I think we would like to open up the Q&A sections. Every one of you can type in the questions in the dialog box and then submit, and then your questions will be directed to our speakers. So from the Q&A box, actually, I can see quite a lot of the questions. I think now I would like to pick up two questions addressed to Victor Hui, SAP. The first question is, our company's approval workflow is quite complicated. How Concur can support their workflow? So, Victor, any comments?
Concur platform provides a comprehensive, multi-level, and multi-dimensional workflow configuration. For example, you can configure the workflow approver based on the expense type with different limit amount, plus based on the organizational hierarchy. You can also be based on the cost center approval as well, based on the user-defined level or limit, even though if the approver has not approved on time. And the question.
Hey, thank you, Victor. One more question to you. The customer saying that they want to know more about the project implementation and how long it's going to take usually.
All right. In most cases, for our customer deployment, let's talk about the Concur expense module to be deployed. Usually, the deployment of the expense module will take only 10 to 12 weeks, and it's done by our local Concur consultants, and they have a lot of the skill set, experiences, and there are lots of the best practices and templates available. So that's why the implementation is very quick, and so far all of the projects are successfully deployed and online. So I hope my answer is clear to you.
Thank you, Victor. I'm sure that the customer will be very happy about this. We can see another question, I think, to Maggie Moore from SAP. The question is, how is SAP RPA different from the other RPA solutions in the market? So, Maggie, please.
Yes. Actually, you use any solution, SAP. One differentiation, SAP best is the of RPA. So it helps you to accelerate RPA adoption, quick automate many process. So I think this is the main differentiation of SAP RPA from any other RPA solutions.
And then again, Maggie, does SAP Finance comes with machine learning capability?
Well, the machine learning is the and applications leverage it to perform tasks. For example, the cash application, GRI, which I mentioned in my presentation, and we have accrual management, etc. But it doesn't come with the standard finance module. Instead, you can add this application at any time in your finance transformation journey based on your accessible. I hope I can answer this question.
Thank you so much, Maggie. We can still quite a lot of the questions. I think we would like to have Anson from Deloitte to address these questions. Do we have to redesign the policies and the process before the technology's implementation? So, Anson, could you please answer the questions?
Absolutely. So this is a common question that we got from a lot of clients as well. The fact is, a lot of clients wonder, would it be all right you just simply implement a technology solution without changing the existing process? And the truth is that we would not. You can do that, but we would not recommend it because we think that since you are investing a lot of money, to actually investing in the technology, why not take this opportunity, right? To take advantage of this opportunity really to redesign your process, to revamp and think about how the technology can work better and change your process instead of just sticking with the old one. And the fact is, technology ultimately is just a tool, right? And so, no matter how good the technology is, if the process itself is broken, then ultimately the technology cannot truly, you are not really utilizing all the benefit of the technology itself. So we think that it actually makes sense on, redesigning a policy and process and rethink how that process will work with the technology that you're planning to adopt, instead of just simply putting a technology in the middle of an old process. And ultimately, I think you can do it together. So in terms of timing, you don't have to say that you have to we need to do all the policy we design before we move in a technology solution. But more the fact that you can, once you determine, you have a use case for it, and while you're doing the implementation, you can actually redesign your process and policy in parallel, so that you can, get the best out of the technology, implementation. I hope this answers your questions.
Yes, totally agree. And I think one last question to Anson. How do we effectively drive the changes and maximize the adoption of the new workflow or tool?
Right. This also hi. Absolutely. I'm happy to answer that as well. This is a very common question that we got from clients as well. Because the traditional approach is that a lot of people will, they might think about change management at the very last part of their project. But the truth is, it's not really the case. Our approach, we would suggest, is from our experience, the best way to do change management is to start from the very beginning. You start engaging a stakeholder in the design phase. When you are changing the policy and process, you start engaging a stakeholder, having workshop, ironing out what are their pain points or what their business requirement is. And throughout the process, you involve them and get them to test the solutions and refine. And then, instead of just waiting until the moment you make, finance team make all the decisions and then decide that this is good to go. So it's better to involve different stakeholders throughout the phase to do that. And this will also improve the rate of getting the stakeholder to buy in. And that's the first thing that we believe change management should be done. And then the second one, I would say common pitfall is that it's not enough, I would say, promotions and training. In order to enable your user and your stakeholder to be familiar and to be proficient in the new process, they need to have sufficient support and training. So it's important that, companies need to invest, not only engaging them throughout the process, but, once the solutions go live, it's important you provide sufficient training, to your stakeholder and user, teach them how to use it. And there is regular communications on any workarounds or tips on better using the tool, or what are the common mistakes on using these tools, for example, so that and who to contact. So once you keep on doing promotion, so it's not I implement a solution and I do a simple user training and then I'm done with it. Change management has to be, throughout the end-to-end process of the project and also go beyond the project itself. You ought to invest a little bit more in order to make this truly happen. I hope this answers your questions.
Thank you, Anson. We still have one more question, really comments to many of the finance departments. So without paper receipt, is it no problems on audit and IRD? So Victor from SAP, please.
Thank you. First of all, regarding to this question, the Hong Kong government has already published the digital copy, the guidelines for the company, so that it is legal to accept the digital copy as the legitimate evidence to prove the receipt. However, if you are going to use this guideline, you better check with your auditor, so that they will just can accept the digital copy or the image as the legitimate proof of the receipt. So in Hong Kong, legally, yes, it accepts the digital receipt. Okay, I hope I answered the question.
Thank you so much, Victor. I think we still have quite a lot of the questions on the Q&A box, but due to the time, so for sure our consultants will address all those questions one by one after the webinar. So once again, thank you so much. I'm sure that we have been given a very great sharing, and now we got how the finance in the new world of the work. So before we end the webinar, I would like to get some information and feedback from every one of you. So please fill in the survey form and let us know your thoughts. So please scan the QR code on the slide and follow the SAP on the LinkedIn and get the latest technologies update. So if you have any interest to know more about SAP solutions, Concur solutions, and even get in touch with Deloitte, so please contact us for more information. So thanks again to all the speakers today and for the time of all the participants today. So thanks a lot. Bye-bye.